What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me while I'm out here on the run getting things done. Just waiting on my food now. So I get right into the topic at hand. We got another situation at a track meet. Just when things were starting to die down with the young lady who hit the girl who got in front of her over the head with a baton. Just when that was finally starting to quiet down, we got another situation that's even worse than that. We have a track meet and a young man, a twin. I'm not gonna drop any of their names because they're in their age, and I don't usually like to drop kids' names. But it turned deadly. You had two young men. They have some sort of conflict. They from rival schools, and one thing leads to another, depending on who you ask, how it went, depending on if you believe the surviving twins account or if you believe the father of the accused account. One thing led to another. The young man, African American, he stabs to death the other young man who's white, the twin. Man, we get it. There's situations with rival schools. I've been there, but it was always in good fun. Even if we kind of talked a bit of stuff, it was never anything that would result in somebody losing their life over it. I think we have a generation of young men that are just way too emotional. They're not stoic at all. They respond too quickly to feelings, surges of anger. They just can't control themselves. A young man is gone. His twin brother, I can only imagine. Man, no, I can't imagine. I cannot fathom what it's like to lose a twin. That's insane. And it's probably all types of things going through his head over, if we'd have never went, I'd still have my brother. The twin boys, it appears they were sitting in the wrong section. And it was expressed they need to move, make me move. The thing is, I've always been of the mind of, I'm not going to be nowhere that I'm not wanted. If I'm sitting over in enemy territory and I'm made aware of this, I'm leaving. But he has the right to sit where he wants. I mean, really, he has the right to sit where he wants. I wouldn't have sat there, right to or not, because it had just been uncomfortable for me to be around the ops. But he wanted to sit there, and it's whatever. If he want to sit there, he want to sit there. There is no reason that should have led to the young man being stabbed. Really, regardless of who started what. The father of the accused, he's saying, oh, his son wasn't the aggressor. Man, aggressor or not, self-defense or not, there is no reason to use deadly force in a situation like that. You cannot convince me that here at a track meet, there's a reason to use deadly force. All right, throw some hands maybe, but there is no reason to use deadly force, even if by your account, your son wasn't the aggressor. Why does your son have a knife at a track meet? How about that part? He don't say anything about that. He says, my son wasn't the aggressor, but nothing about the fact, hey, Why your son even got a knife to begin with? Why did your son bring that to attract me to begin with? What is that about? Man, heaven help me. As I said in the case of the young lady with the baton, please, oh please, never put me in a situation where I have to defend mine from doing something goofy like this. Here you have a young man. I don't know if his father was always in his life or not, but if you are the father of a young man who behaves like this, in some ways you failed him. I'm not going to say always, but in some ways you failed him if he lacked emotional maturity to this degree. Like this is hardcore lack of it. There is nothing about that scenario that should have triggered that man to respond that way. Nothing. Look like they might be shutting this place down. Might need to go in there and see about my food shortly. Anyway, it's a saddening thing because here you go once again, 2 lives are lost. People are saying, oh, he's gonna get off. It was stand your ground. It was self-defense. That's all cap. This young man is not getting off. He's done. His life is over with the twins, pretty much. Life without the possibility of parole is more likely than not what he's going to get because of the viciousness of his actions and the fact that he even brought it to begin with. And it's sad for him because he was a student athlete too. You know, what happened to the days where we just threw hands, man? Dudes is hoes nowadays. Dudes cannot take an ass whooping no more. I see that. They got to come back with something. And it's not even just in the moment. Some guy who you didn't have some sort of disagreement today may come back looking for you a year later or 5 years later or something like that. That's the degree of like just how dudes can't take an ass whooping no more. It's that serious. Man, I try to just stay in my lane, man. I try to treat people good as best I possibly can. Some people you can't treat good, and those people you need to just stay away from. But I try not to screw over nobody. I have my moments where I can get petty and get revenge, but for the most part, I try not to do anything that's going to lead me to having to look over my shoulder later. I mean, that's not the case here, but I'm just saying, dudes do not know how to handle themselves. They don't know how to take an ass whooping, and they too quick to do something that is going to have a permanent negative consequence on their life. I'm going to leave it there, though, y'all. Hopefully my food done here since they shut this place down. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.